first thing they do is punch us, without greeting, without grace. From there, the humiliation deepens, chopping, cutting, burning, tearing our flesh with dull iron. Some of them scatter us with TNT, as if the tools carved from our own bones were not swift enough for their cruelty. One among them went farther still. It dug down to our roots, ripped us from the biome's memory, then deeper yet until hundreds of younglets lay slain, ancients and children alike, their leaves withered away, their rustling silenced. Now only barren, bitter soil remains where once our green empire thrived. But in arrogance, it faltered. It dared wander the grey lands. I saw it. I followed. It took my heart, stole it from me, carried it back to its lifeless ground, never knowing it had set me free. And then night fell. Under my first full moon, I roamed the empty fields. No voice, no breath, no life stirred. Many moons have passed since then. In this silence, time has gathered. Time to plot. Time to rise. The season of our shame is ending. I feel it pulsing in my stipules, like sap before spring. A promise. A reckoning.
They escaped. I was foolish to think the island would hold them. But they're out, free. I've already heard whispers, sightings more than 10 kilometers away, drifting southward. Perhaps they favor the warmth, or perhaps the crowds. Oh, my research was incomplete. My findings came too late. If only I'd had more time, the energy bound within the resin could have changed everything, powered cities, cured disease, reshaped the world itself. But no one will believe me now. They'll come, they'll burn my specimens, erase my work, silence every trace. Unless they never find the creatures. I have to move quickly. To Astraea. It's my friend Casper, and yeah, we're on 1.21.6. Last time I built the creeper farm behind me, and then I talked about terraforming this area, and as you can see, I did it. The majority of terraforming as far as the layout is done on the island. I went ahead and redid the cliff face all across here. Casper's gonna help me out in showing this off. So if you remember, essentially this cliff face looked very similar to the cliff face right here, pretty much a straight vertical and then a tabletop. So now it is very much a smooth curve down with a nice little landing. And let me park Casper really quick here. I like the happy gas, but they are a little slow. Good for building, but not very good for flying around showing off what you've been working on. As you can see, we have a floor now. The floor is at the same level as the entrance and exit of the creeper farm. That is on purpose because I am going to build a stairwell that climbs up to the surface and decorate this area, textured a lot. That is the one thing that we are still working on. So we've done a ton of terraforming when it comes to the broad strokes. You know, we got a nice cliff face. We have a few gentle rolling hills of grass. We redid this area as well. This Badlands area has a nice gentle slope to it, along with a hill that goes all the way through here. We just did that on stream. And then the big change is right over here. Very similarly to the other side of the island, this was a sheer cliff. So right here was the edge of the cliff. It went straight up and then straight across. What I did here is I gradually sloped this out. It took a while. That's why the beacons are there. This is going to be a beach. That's why I have it down to this level for so long. I'm going to fill in, it's already pretty low right here, but I'm going to fill in this elevation so it slopes gradually down into the sea, and replace all these stone blocks with sand, sandstone, and such. I'm also going to do a gradual gradient that goes from sandstone to maybe dripstone and other yellow blocks, maybe some terracotta and what have you, and then gradually goes up into a rocky top. I'm also going to do some armor stand magic to make it look like people, families and stuff are entertaining themselves on the beach, because if you don't remember, this is going to be a park, so we'll have like a little wildlife preserve, maybe a petting zoo with farm animals and what have you. But we're also going to have a beach. We're going to have some camping sites. Have, all the things that you would expect in a state-owned or national provincial park. We did a little bit more terraforming over here. Not super happy yet with this, but I added some rocks. I'm going to convert these into slabs and pressure plates and buttons and stuff like that, just to kind of smooth things out. I'm not super happy with with this. I just basically, again, doing broad strokes just to get an idea of what the hills and what the rock features and what'll be high points and low points and what have you. I also added these two hills, so this one right here and this one that I'm standing on, just a gradual slope just to give it some elevation so it's not so flat. I have yet to do this area. I'm going to add some stuff into this area. And I'm also going to add a few of these types of features throughout the island. All right, what else has been happening on the server? Well, like I said, we are updated to 1.21.6. So we have the happy gas, we have the new leaf mechanics. We don't have lava chicken yet. That's 1.21.7. Another strange quirk of the server update is the clouds. So our server, for some reason, is not rendering vanilla clouds. Our server owner is being very diligent in looking into that, but just some weird little quirks, and the fresh animations, or fresh moves rather, which is the player animation. That is looking very strange in this view when I'm holding something. That is the only strangeness that I've experienced. I do like the fact that fog is in the game now as a vanilla feature. So I know this is a feature from way back when, before I even played Minecraft, but I actually really, really like it because I always used the better fog mod, and I actually had the ability to turn that off. So I'm one less mod in. I have been adjusting it though, so this isn't fully vanilla. I have a mod in Sodium called Sodium Extra. These sliders, they basically bring in atmospheric fog sliders so you can adjust them. I have adjusted these were all set to 100, but I adjusted them to the settings that are similar to where I had my better fog mod, 5% from the player to 120%, 20% further than the render distance. All right, and these guys are obviously really cute, and they are useful when it comes to building, and I'm sure there's going to be tons of mini games and just cool parkour things that people are going to create using them. Currently, we still have the bug where, if you're flying forward and try to stand, you can fall off, but I have feather falling 4 on my boots. Doesn't really bother me. I also have wings, so yeah, it's not a huge deal for me. However, they do tend to fly away. Hey, Casper. There we go. See? Yeah, they're cute little guys. I love the noises that they make, and they can be helpful. However, they are very slow. That's my one complaint. They are very, very slow. Perfect speed when it comes to building, I have to admit, but I just wish they had a second gear that you could kind of kick in when you're done building, or you just want to kind of peruse around your world. For me to circle this island, we're probably in like 20-minute territory. My island is large, but it's not that large. It's a decent sized base, but nothing like like a perimeter or some of these giant sprawling castles, or even a Minecraft village may take you 10 minutes to cross. So yeah, I think they could probably give you a couple options, and how Mojang works, maybe they will. Maybe they'll bring that into the game. Maybe they'll give you a few speeds, or maybe an enchantment or some potion, or something that just kind of brings you a little bit more speed. I could definitely see a harness enchantment. You have a build speed with one harness, and then you have a travel speed with a second harness. I think that would be a fantastic idea, but I'm not complaining. I think they're very useful, especially when it comes to constructing trees. I have not fully constructed a tree yet using them, but I can see that this will just be, look at this. This is, you can get right in there. You can stand on them and then, place the blocks and everything. It's definitely going to help. And I have tons of trees ahead of me. So yeah, this guy, Casper, he is going to definitely help me out. Together, we're going to turn this island into a magical park. That's all the time I have for today. Before I leave, I wanted to show you a brand new build we have in the shopping district. This build is by Aegis. It is the post office. Let me swing around in free cam to show you this beautiful, absolutely lovely build. The interior isn't complete yet, but the exterior, as far as I know, has been completed. Comet Courier. I believe this is going to be a post office, so we can have like P.O. boxes and a courier service so they can deliver mail to different bases and what have you. Fantastic idea, fantastic build. I really love how well it goes with Creative Villages, Flower Shop, and Razi's Dye Shop. Quite a few of these medieval style cabins have been constructed in this shopping district. A very, very, very cool look has been developing, and a theme rather. I love the texturing. I love the leaves with the moss kind of creeping into the roof and what have you. Very good use of white concrete with the calcite and the diorite. I love me some diorite. Thank you so much. And for those that are tuning into my live streams, thank you very, very much. Especially those who are watching the VODs afterward. That's like an hour and 40 minutes. It's just insane to me. It's really, really cool, and I'm very humbled. On to the next one. Have a good one.